happen.
Oh, it's happening.
It is.
Oh,
so
yeah.
we're recording in 3,
Woo-hoo!
2, 1.
Good. So welcome everyone to this Pragmatic Practitioner Zoom, facilitating the future. Wow, just tap into that space, facilitating the future. Well, this one doesn't make sense to your mind because how can you facilitate the future? It's not a person, it's not a thing. But it does make sense on a not logical level where you go, okay, wait a second, we actually have the choice to create our futures. We actually have the choice to facilitate our futures. We oftentimes don't think we do. Like if you look at people who are trying to be normal, most of them have the point of view that their past determines their future. So whatever childhood they might have had, they think because of whatever experiences they had, they only have a certain menu of choice available, but not infinite choice. So one of the things I love to inspire the world with pragmatic psychology is that we have choice always. And I know this is something that people kind of talk about, but not really. So whenever I give seminars in pragmatic psychology or do keynote speeches, people like kind of embrace the thing that the awareness that we have choice, but only like choice delight. Like, you know, you have like when you buy milk and you buy light milk, it's like choice light version. Like I have choice in a certain way, but not really. If you look at your own life, like where have you decided that you don't really have choice? You have like, you can choose a little bit, but not totally. So, and the question is that really true? Or have you bought that point of view from whoever, maybe your mom, maybe your dad, maybe your culture, maybe whoever, who tried to convince you that you don't really have choice? And we can buy other people's points of view all day long until the cows come home. But then at the end of the day, we can also ask, what do I know? What is true for me? And what's true will always make you lighter. What's heavy is a lie. And this is one of my favorite awarenesses and acknowledgements that whatever makes you feel lighter is true for you. Whatever is heavy is a lie. We have learned the opposite. We have learned that whatever is heavy must be true. I have to look at it. I have to analyze it. I have to understand it. And when I dig into it and understand it, then I will be what? Free? No. So what if it's not about digging into what's heavy, but what if it's about acknowledging what's actually true for you? When you start to acknowledge what's true for you, you will not be owned by anyone ever again. When you acknowledge what's true for you, you can be in the presence of the most limited person. You can be in the presence of the most annoying person, and it will not do anything with you. It will not bring you down because you know what's true for you. So this is one of the elements that we, with the pragmatic practitioners, inspire the world with, knowing what is true for you and not buying any lies anymore. And that's why we call it pragmatic. Pragmatic means doing what works. Most of the world is very dramatic. They look at the problems, they dive into the problem. They think if I investigate the pile of poo called my limitations, then something, except that something never comes. So that's like the dramatic perspective, making problems real. Pragmatic is do what works. What is already there? What's possible? What else is possible? And especially acknowledging what is true for you. It's like if you look at your life, what parts of your life what is actually working for you in your life? Like, if you look at certain areas of your life, what choices are you making for other people? What choices are you making because other people see this as right? And what choices are you actually making that are creating more space for you? And this is where if we start to look a little bit closer at our own choices, if we choose to be a little bit more present with us, it can set us free so much. Yet we seldom do that. Most people are super occupied with other people, with, scrolling on their phones and looking at feeds and, filling their space with, what is this person posting? What is this person posting? Is like, yeah, that can be fun too. But what if you spend more of your time and your energy with you, with actually becoming clear on what's true for me, what's fun for me, what choices can I actually make in my life that open up for more possibilities? So like the pragmatic perspective is where you follow the lightness. And I know this is so weird in this world because we've learned to follow the heaviness, right? Like, what's heavy? What do I need to look at? What do I need to understand about it? This is a lot engaging the mind. That can be fun too. But at one point, you might want to have a bigger life than just what's happening up here and engage with what's actually true for you. So what is true for you that you keep avoiding in order to be normal? Okay, so everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it? Yeah? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. That's the Access Consciousness Clearing Statement. I love it. There's a whole video about, if you want to know what the words mean, I'm not going to explain it now. It's so cool. The first time I heard it, I thought the person was crazy, but I knew beyond my mind that it works and it's awesome. And since then, I've been using it for years and it just opens up so much space. It's amazing. And I learned, like, my title is psychologist and I also worked as a psychotherapist. So I should be normal, yet normal doesn't work for me. Normal takes a lot of energy. I have to use a lot of energy against me in my body if I try to work as a normal professional something. So I learned to open up and unleash my difference, my crazy, my weirdness, and it totally pays off. Because when you get over trying to be normal, when you get over trying to be professional, which is not really being you, when you get over that and when you unleash your difference, you actually see the world in a way nobody else does. And that is actually a gift. You see possibilities no one else does. And I started, like, when I got over my first years of being a normal professional psychologist, when I realized that I wasn't happy trying to be normal, when I was willing to be judged for being different, so much more of my joy opened up, so much more of fun and so much more money and so much more possibilities and so much more yumminess in all areas of my life, that I also was a much bigger help for my patients. Let me tell you that. If you work with other people, are you really a contribution when you're trying to be normal? Because what I noticed is the people who are looking for something different, they have already been to a lot of normal people. They're kind of done with normal. They're looking for something different. So here you come in. So everywhere you would like to work more with other people, facilitate change. Facilitating actually means making things easier. It comes from a Latin word, facil, which is making things easier. So you're basically the easier maker. So when you work with other people and you want to facilitate change, who actually is looking for you? The people who want normal, or the people who want to have someone who shows them a different and greater possibility? So everywhere you still try to be normal and think you have to be normal to be a gift to the world. Will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. For me, true professionalism is doing what works, is being you. Okay. So, and it's not like if you want to be a contribution to people and facilitate change, how many of you are waiting until you are good enough and perfect enough to do so? Okay, so perfect is actually a set of judgments. It's like a carrot in front of your nose that you try to run after, and you will never achieve it. All that occurs is more judgments and you waiting until you will start. So everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it all times a godzillion. Like a donkey. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So when you are inspired by someone else, are you inspired by their perfection? Or are you inspired because they're like, hi world, here I am. What's up? You know, what can we play with? What's possible? Like, we're actually not inspired by perfection. Even if you go on social media and you know, all these people have their, you know, their, I don't know what that is, but their duck faces. I don't know. It's such a weird world right now. I mean, it's always been, but it's just, I don't get it. So everywhere you try to understand this weird world so you can be part of it, will you destroy and uncreate it, please, times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So like, are you inspired by Mr. and Mrs. Perfect? Or are you inspired by people who are just being who they are? Yes. So how about being that more? So when you want to engage more in, or continue working more with people, what if you don't have to be perfect? And what if when you facilitate someone with different areas of their lives, you don't have to have it all down. Like, you don't have to be perfect with money in order to help someone with money. You don't have to have, you know, a relationship to help someone with relationship. All you got to have is questions. All you got to have is the vulnerability to facilitate someone to finding out what's true for them. So one of the things we do with the Pragmatic Psychology program is, which is the title of the Zoom, is Pragmatic Practitioners. These are people who are interested in finding out what they know about facilitating change. And all of them, all of them come from different backgrounds. Like, some of them are coaches, facilitators, some of them are parents, some of them are hairdressers, like anyone who works with people. And what they start to allow themselves is going beyond needing to be perfect and having a vulnerability with themselves. Like, first of all, discovering more of themselves and allowing more of their difference, allowing more of their weirdness. And then as soon as they work with people, having a perspective of total question. Like, if you meet someone, and normal way of helping someone is to have a lot of points of view of what the other person should choose, having a lot of projections that this other person should be happy, having a lot of points of view that they should change in a certain way. So if you seek for inspiration and help, and you meet someone who has a lot of points of view of what you should do and how you should do it, and that you should be happy at the end of the session, how is that? How freeing is that not? But if you then meet someone who is just like, hi, what can I contribute to you, with no point of view, total allowance for what you're choosing, no point of view that you should become happy, no judgment of the choices you make, No point of view whether you change or not. Just, hey, what can I do for you? What an invitation. What invitation is that for you to unleash more of you? And that is such a practice to get there. It's such a practice to not project the point of view. If you look at someone in your life that you want to be happy, like it takes some practice to not having a point of view that this person should change or they should change in a certain way. And this is, in other words, this is empowerment. Empowerment is where you don't project your own wishes on someone else, but where you let the other person choose to be happy or choose to be unhappy if this is what they prefer. So now look at the people in your life that choose, and I know it's a weird thing to say, choose to be unhappy. Are you letting them? Or are you trying to go, come on, come to the happy side. Just do this, do this. This is really awesome. It worked for me. Do this too. Do this class, do this thing. It's awesome. Come on, let's be happy. Like cheerleading. So everywhere you're being the cheerleader of the whole world, rather than the empowerer of and the person who is an allowance of whatever people choose or not, everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it times a quadrillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, meons. And now look at what does it actually create for you and your body when you want to drag people along? Like ask your body right now. Like take one person that you so want to be happy, whether it's your child or a partner or someone in your family or a friend. So now check with your own body, how are you doing with that? Like me trying to constantly carry this person along or carry their depression or heal their depression or their anxiety or something. How is that actually for you, body? Ouch, huh? So everything that is, everywhere you are trying to take other people's unhappiness out of them, carry it for them, heal it for them, and then also put it in your own body and your cells. Ouch. Will you, part of that, or all of it, destroy and uncreate it and let it go? Yeah, thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So basically what I'm saying, you have a different choice. You have a different choice how you facilitate the future, how you are being in the world with other people, including yourself, and how you use your energy. Like how would you like to use your energy, and how much of your creativity are you not able to access with all the healing you do for all these other people who do not want your healing? And everything that is, will you destroy and uncreate it, please? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, meons. Just because you have the capacity to be there for people, just because you have the wish for other people to have a greater life, just because you have the capacity to heal other people, doesn't mean you have to use it. Okay, you have choice. Like you have, like, how many incredible, not logical capacities do you have that you, first of all, haven't acknowledged, and second, are forcing yourself to use, rather than giving yourself the choice to use it when it works? Be pragmatic. Choosing them when it works. So when you work with someone who's really open for change, how easy is it? How easy is a conversation with a friend when they're open for change? How wonderful is it? How contributory is it, not only to them, but for you too? Wonderfully, huh? Have you ever had that? It's so cool. Then now take someone who's like, yeah, I hear you, but my limitations are more important than the freedom you are offering to me. And you spend hours of conversations. And give them so much and they're not receiving it, what is that creating for you? How much work is that? And what actually creates the future, the first or the second? If you look at what actually creates the future, you working hard at pounding possibilities in someone's world that they're not willing to choose, or if you choose to contribute to your energy to someone who's actually willing to receive it. What makes the earth happy? What facilitates our future? And yes, the earth is part of that. So everything that is, I know it doesn't make sense, but somehow it makes sense, huh? So everything that is and everything doesn't allow it, will you please destroy and uncreate it? Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. Yeah. So what if you walk through the world, and this is, again, it's a choice. What if you start with, after this conversation, maybe start to walk through the world in a different way, in a way where you actually have ease being you, where you value your difference. It's like, those of you who are listening to this, and if you're still listening, what acknowledgement is that for you? Like, what I mean is, like, if you're still listening, how much happiness and joy do you have in your world that is so different than most people out there? How much more sense of choice and living do you have than most people out there? If you wouldn't, you would have stopped this call. You would have like, this is stupid. Like, I'm off. You would have not listened anymore. So what if you start to acknowledge you and your difference? Like, how much more sense of joy, freedom, space, possibilities, living do you have in your world that you could start to acknowledge and choose? So how much of your joy, your difference, your living are you diminishing and suppressing for other people, so you're not too happy, so you're not torturing other people with your happiness and your sense of possibilities? Everything that is, will you please destroy and uncreate it? And will you please start torturing the world with your happy, with your joy, and with your difference? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. I mean, like, people love to torture others with their depression and their, sense of limitation. And people have a very big rightness when they're suffering. Some of them are willing to change it, which is so strong and so vulnerable. When someone has anxiety or depression and they're ready to change it, like, what a strength. What a brilliance, what a vulnerability. That is like amazing. Chapeau. It's wonderful. But there's a lot of other people who want to control others with their limitations. So what if you have more awareness? Who am I dealing with? Am I dealing with someone who's actually willing to get over it and embrace something else? Or am I putting my energy to someone who's just holding on to the rightness of their limitations? And what actually facilitates our future? So what if you're proud of your sense of living, the space, the joy, the ease that is your world? What if you celebrate that more and be it more, even if you think you're torturing other people with it? Okay, so everywhere you're avoiding to torture the world with your joy, with your ease, with your sense of space and possibilities, will you please destroy and uncreate it and start torturing the world more with that? Thank you very much. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine shorts, boys, poets. Little secret, you're not really torturing the world. You're actually a gift and inspiring the world, but it might seem like you're torturing the world, but you're actually not. But you got to be willing to torture the world, because that's your judgment of what you do, which is actually not what you do. Okay, does that make sense? So what gift is it if you just walk through the world and go, okay, I see you guys, I see you with your limitations, and here is what's possible, and I'm living it. But I can live it just for me. I don't have to wait until other people get it before I can choose it. Yeah. So how many of you are waiting until other people are happy before you can really go for your joy? Whether it's in your relationships, in your family, or wherever. So everything that is, all the waiting, will you please destroy and uncreate it times a godzillion. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. So just with that conversation, do you guys get like, I could choose so much more of that? Like I'm holding back a little bit, or I'm holding back a lot in how I could facilitate the future for the planet, for so much more than I have before. Thank you, guys. And thank you for your also comments in the chat. And that is really cool. So yeah, so it's like, if you perceive like, wow, I am holding myself back for other people's limitations, what future is that creating? Okay, pock that, or different choice. Okay, what else could I choose? You know what? I'm going to turn myself up. I don't know how. Don't need to know how. I'm just going to do it now and remind myself more and more, or remind each other. And then what future will that create? Just, okay, so if you just that, if you would turn yourself up more just right now, or all of us together, you listening now or later, if you would turn up what you actually are, what future will that create for the earth? Wow. It's like, talk about rejuvenating the earth. Yes. Thank you. Yes. Pragmatic psychology rocks. Absolutely. Wow. That space. Absolutely. It's like we underestimate, we're not only a gift with those choices to other people, we're actually a gift to something so much bigger than that, like to the future, to the earth, to what we're actually here for. So this is like, this for me is, when I wrote my first book, the Pragmatic Psychology book, I've written 4 so far, 4 books. When I wrote that book, this is what I could perceive more of us going for, because I was working in psychiatry back then, and I was just trained in traditional therapy and stuff. And I always knew there's a different way of being with each other. There's a different way of facilitating change. I didn't have the exact things of how that would look like, but I started to explore. And I just like talking with you guys now and perceiving your guys' world, reading the comments, and just like looking at you and perceiving your world. It's so cool how much this is already here and how many people are choosing this. This is so beautiful. So, wow, let's acknowledge we're already on the way to something greater, more than we have acknowledged, and more of that. So, and thank you so much for the comments. That's so cool. So, and yes, wow. So everything doesn't allow us to acknowledge that it's already here more than we have acknowledged. Will we please destroy and create it times a godzillion? Thank you. Right, wrong, good, bad, pot, pock, all nine, shorts, boys, poets, and beyonds. And like some of the people writing in the chat are actually pragmatic practitioners. So they have done a couple of pragmatic practitioner classes, where like these are people who are, for me, pioneers, who are willing to embrace these tools to find out what they uniquely know about facilitating change with whoever they work, whether it's children or grown-ups, people who come with all kinds of, so-called problems, and showing people how they can transform those problems into possibilities, and that people have a different choice. So I am so thrilled about this program being out there. And if this ever calls to you, maybe you just wanted to listen to this call and be inspired, cool. If you ever want more, if you ever go for, okay, I'm ready for more of this, I would like to add this to my work that I do with people, or I would like to start working more with people, or whoever you're working with, and including yourself, check out the Pragmatic Practitioner classes. It's so cool, where this is where we dive into these tools, into the how to work with people in different ways, but we also practice like facilitation on each other. And what I see is like people underestimate how their past like what they've experienced, what a gift that is for other people. Like we always look at, oh, this person is better than the other. I have to do it their way, or I have to do it as I have studied in the textbook. That's all just examples. It's like you using yourself, you using everything you have experienced makes you so interesting. Like who is actually looking for you and what you uniquely can facilitate that no one else can, even people who have 20, 30 years of experience. It's not about the experience you have in your work. It's not about the titles. It's about your willingness to invite people to something different from no point of view, from question, inviting them to possibilities that they never thought they could have, inviting them to acknowledge that their difference is actually a gift, inviting them that everything they think is wrong is actually strong about them, inviting them to a different paradigm. So it's not about someone being better than you. It's about acknowledging that if you add you to what you already do, everything becomes greater. So maybe if you want more, there are 4 books out there. We can send you the emails. There's podcasts for free. Or if you want more, there's programs out there. And for some of them, you need prereqs. For some of them, you don't. We just had an amazing program that's called Facilitating the Power Beyond Pain. And people were there who wanted to, like, pain in the sense of psychological pain, but also physical pain. And people don't even notice that they're in pain. Like they think that frustration is normal. They think that upset is normal. Like that's just part of being human. Really? Does it really have to be that way? So it's about questioning all of it. And one of the participants was there, and she's a doctor working with people in pain, and she wanted to find out more. Okay, so what tools are there to get people from pain to power? And she said, wow, this is the medicine of the future. Like empowering people, giving them tools where they find the power behind what is hurting them. It's like not that someone else has to tell them what to do. It's not about someone else being the expert. But imagine if we're not training people to have to go to meet someone once a week, but that being a possibility, but them knowing that they have what it takes to go beyond what's bothering them. It's like we are basically cultivating leaders everywhere. What different planet would we have? What different future would we have if people would step into being the leaders that they actually can be? Different world, different possibility. So I am thrilled, and thank you so much for being here and listening to this and receiving it and enjoying it. And you can listen to it again, because I think there are many parts in there that if you listen to it again, it might open up something different again. And I would love to see you somewhere on those calls or things or whatever we create. And if you have any wishes for the future, let us know. We're always open for possibilities. And thank you, everyone creating this. Thank you, translators. And what else is truly possible for us facilitating the future in a way that works? Yay.